right, it's time for a Those Books book with The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. There we go. The Secret Garden. Hey everyone, it is Shannon, and I'm excited to chat today about The Secret Garden. This is one of the books on the Those Books list. It is my 23rd book read from the Those Books list, and it is number 51 on the BBC Big Read, and it's also number 51 on the 100 favorite novels of librarians list. So it makes two lists. It's been a while since something has made two lists. I think that's because I've been reading a lot of Canadian stuff, which often is just on the one list. Anyway, I had some extra incentive to read this one. Both my mom and my sister Jamie really love this one. I knew it was one of my mom's favorite books of all time kind of deal. And I know that Jamie, when she speaks of it, she gets all that sort of, kind of feel. But I was a little hesitant because they both love gardening and plants, and I don't tend to keep plants alive, although right now I have three that are alive, which for me is pretty good. Usually it's just Happy, my pothos, who's been alive for quite a long time now. 10 years. An ugly plant, which has been along. I should bring ugly plant out here. Bring a plant. There we go. There's Shannon's garden. My ugly plant, which I got, you can't see it there, I got, wow, in sort of 1999? 98, sometime like that. So it's almost 20 years. I cut him back a lot recently because he's looking really raggedy. Anyway, that's one of my only plants. I don't even know what kind of plant it is. But I love it. I love it. And these are new. Anyway, back to the book, getting distracted by plants. I had a little hesitation going into this one because I was worried that I wasn't going to like it. I was worried, I feel like you can't see him. I want you to be able to see him. There we go. Okay, now I feel better. Oh my god, and if any hiatus I could have taken, or tangent I could have taken, I wouldn't think it would be about a plant, but, with this book, why not? Anyway, so I had some hesitation because I'm not so much a plant person. It's not that I don't like them. I love cut flowers, mostly because they're supposed to die. I just don't tend to be able to keep plants alive, so, yeah. And I actually, it took me a long time to get into this one. Initially, I didn't get into it at all. The character that we are following in this book is a young girl, and, she has trying circumstances for sure, but she is, wow, she is very spoiled, she is. She's spoiled, and I had a hard time connecting to her because she just to me felt very rude, and yeah, that wasn't working for me. But as I stuck with it, and I kept with it. It actually took 2 tries to one false start, and then I came back to it. But I stuck with it, and I ended up warming up to it, and she softens a little, not tons, but a little bit, and, becomes more open, and then the story really, starts to get ya, and it got me. It really did. And I didn't think it was gonna do it. I really didn't think it was gonna do it, because I was just like, what? But wow. And I can feel, especially if you're someone who likes being in the garden, who likes animals, who likes being outside, who has an affinity to that and just enjoys that as a setting, this is really a really great read for that, because it really it shows a lot of development in the character, but also the idea of things growing, and changing for the better, and even it's sort of a magic and wonder element to it are very, very strong, but it takes a while to get there. But I did think that it ended up being worth it. So it's funny because I don't know too much to say about this one, but I did end up really enjoying it, and ended up changing my mind. I was glad that I stuck with it, and I think sometimes that's easier with kids' books because it's not, although it was, because the writing is You know, it was written in 1911, so the writing is a little dry in comparison to what you might, you know, if you read more contemporary stuff. It can be a little challenging, but not so much because it is a kid's book too, and it's not that hard or anything. It just can feel a little stilted. But for me, the biggest challenge was definitely the protagonist. I wasn't feeling for her, and I really feel like you should, but I was like, no, not okay, not okay. That said, you know, this sort of, I don't, and maybe there's something even more, you know, interesting about that she's so closed off and she's so standoffish and she's so like vocal and stubborn and all that kind of stuff, which is of course not something I can relate to like at all. Not stubborn. So, and maybe that's why my mom related to it because, you know, and my sister, we are a stubborn family. But there is a beauty and a wonder and a magical element to this book that I adored. I really, really did adore. And I really started to sink into it. And I really started to feel the, you know, that people express when they talk about this. It's funny because I've read a lot now. I'm on to my 23rd book, and there's a lot of books that sometimes I feel like the tone of them or what people get out of them is not necessarily the experience that I had. And this one initially wasn't, but did get there. So for me, the learning of the perseverance of stick with itness, you know, that it's worth it to keep going. Not for all books. I understand that we don't all want to read all books, but for me, it was worth it in the end to stick with it because I got there and it was worth it and it was beautiful and it was wonderful and I was so thankful to have read it. So it was worth it. Now I'm getting goosebumps when I start thinking about the different things about it. I don't want to talk too much about the plot because it's not, you know, I think I don't even know if I talked about the plot at all. You know, girl in trying circumstance, she's stubborn, not that open, gives a little, you know, things start to sort of shift a little, and it's also there is a strong importance and on friendship in this one and relationships, and I really appreciated that as well. And again, not and a little bumpy of a road on almost everything, and I appreciated that it wasn't, you know, a completely optimistic and it wasn't completely pessimistic. It was sort of in the middle of feeling realistic. And I'm an optimist. I'm definitely an optimist, but there was something wonderful in it being like, you know, if you make one bad choice, it's not the end of the world. Or if you were mean one time, you know, that doesn't mean you can't change. You know, it doesn't mean that people will take you for that always. You know, so there was something healing in that element of it, you know, in terms of the characters, and I did appreciate that. So yeah, there you go, The Secret Garden. And I wonder if that is like completely not what resonated with people. I did love the stuff with the garden and the nature and stuff, and the nature. You know, I did enjoy that as well. But for me, the other elements of it sort of spoke a little more strongly to me. And that's, oh, again, a wonderful thing about books. Different things in the same book can resonate as strong with different people. It's amazing. It's magical. I love it. I love that. So there you go. That is number 23. I have, normally well, and I would recommend it, and if you're not feeling it right away, stick with it. I felt that it was worth it. And also, I don't know, I normally go, would I read other novels from the same author? And she's known for this and two others really strongly, and then, but she's wrote about 30 or more. I don't know if I would go back to this. The writing style just doesn't super, I didn't super connect to it. And I am reading a lot of older titles right now, so to add one more just doesn't feel like, Sure, I wouldn't say no, but it just, for me, it's more of a reminder to come back to kids' books every once in a while. It's a great way to get out of a reading slump, or, you know, just for the pure enjoyment of them. And I just want to keep them back on the regular roster. Not as often as some of the other books I read, but it's good to put them in the rotation, especially for those books. They tend to be shorter and less intimidating, although this one did give me one false start. So anyway, up next will be The Sound and the Fury. to just go from one type of book to a completely different type of book. And that's one of the reasons I love that those books exploration is everything can be so different. So there you go. The Secret Garden. Have you read it? Do you love it? I would love to know what you love about it, because that was something that I had to find over time. So yeah. All right. Thanks for watching.